Starting our list, right, we have the infamous Lucifer. Lucifer to many is the epitome of evil. And although he is that and more, he was once revered as the wisest, the greatest, and the most beautiful angel in all of God's creation. I mean, look at the guy. He's just downright gorgeous. It doesn't look like our guy, right?
Stay away! He's a devil!
So how did he go from this to this? Everyone seemed to praise Lucifer for his beauty and his power, but eventually that praise would make Lucifer prideful of himself. This pride led to him questioning God himself. He didn't believe in predestination, which is a concept that involves the destiny of all beings under God's will and command. He wanted everyone to be free-willed. Eventually, Lucifer would argue with God until it led up to an all-out war in the heavens. Lucifer would encounter Michael the Archangel, and they had a battle which is said to have nearly ravaged all of heaven from the sheer force of their power alone. God then took the power of all the angels in his name and molded them into one being, which defeated Lucifer. Lucifer fell for days, bringing 1/3 of the angelic host with him. In Luke 10:18, Jesus says, quote, "I saw Satan falling like lightning from heaven." From here, Lucifer became the ruler of hell and made it his own to strike back at God's most favored creation, which is us. Stealing our number 9 spot, we have Beelzebub. This former angel was Lucifer's right-hand man, so they both kind of had that evil vibe, you feel? Beelzebub is a former seraph, just like Lucifer. Angel Lesson 101. Seraphs are the highest choir of angels in heaven. They are as close to God as the archangels, so they're pretty much a big deal in heaven. He was made before the creation of heaven and earth, so he's one of the oldest angels, which brought a lot of wisdom and knowledge in the heavens. When the angel rebellion happened, he was one of the first angels to have fallen and woken up. Due to this, he was the advisor to the devil and was even the one who recommended to attack God's creation, which is us humans. Like, come on, Beelzebub, you couldn't pick anyone else? At our number 8 spot, we have Andrus. Yes, the former 2 angels we mentioned are probably the most darkest and the most evil ones. I mean, who's more evil than Lucifer? Well, Andrus comes pretty close to it. He is often regarded as the great Marquis of Hell or the Grey Knight. He was a skilled swordsman and assisted in Lucifer's rebellion. After the fall, he was depicted as a humanoid with angel wings and an owl's head. He rode a black wolf and held his bright sharp sword on it. Andrus is one of the most violent devils to summon, as he will gladly execute any person the conjurer desires. So he's kind of like a personal hitman. Right at our number 7 spot, we have Belphegor. This is literally the demon lord that handles the sin of sloth. He is also one of the 7 great kings who rule over hell. He ended up there for a good reason. When he was in heaven, he was a part of the choir of principalities, which was the 3rd choir of the 3rd angelic sphere. He was a very lazy angel and didn't do much for anyone except himself. These would foreshadow his sloth tendencies. When the angel war occurred, he didn't choose any side. But just because he didn't choose God's side, he was banished, turning him to the archdemon of sloth. He comes up on earth to draw victims into a constant state of procrastination and idle dreaming. Probably sounds like a few of us watching. Surprisingly, at our number 6 spot, we have the Grigori. This group of angels are often regarded as the Watchers. They are created for the sole purpose to guide the first humans on earth. These angels were both physically and spiritually gigantic. Despite their large stature, they worked together as one. They were so great at what they did, but as humans evolved, so did they. But sexually, they would eventually make mortal wives bear their children, which created a horrible abomination known as the Nephilim. These were man-eating giants that took over humanity. So what did God do? The Great Flood. Hey Noah, you ready? Right in the hump of our list, we have Belial. He is often regarded as hell's brightest fire and the king of evil, so he probably doesn't have a single good bone in his body. Before his fall from grace, Belial is one of heaven's most beautiful angels, and he was created right after Lucifer, so I guess God just made all of the most beautiful angels at one specific time. He was also very powerful. As an angel, Belial was able to slay numerous angels during the war, and as a demon, he slaughtered large demonic armies that attempted to move against him or any of the other 7 great kings. He was noted to have a strong, attractive voice. After his fall, he would become the demon of lies and guilt, because his voice was that strong. All the way at our number 4, we have Furfur. This demon is known as the Earl of Hell and the ruler of the 29 legions of demons. He appears in the form of a deer with a fiery tail and angel wings. In my opinion, he looks majestic, doesn't he? He can force love between any two humans and is also capable of raising storms filled with thunder, lightning, and absurd wind speeds. To summon him, he must be placed within a magician's triangle. But as you're trying to do this, everything he tries to tell you is false. Only when he is in the triangle is when he begins speaking the truth. But I still wouldn't trust this demon. All the way at our number 3 spot, we have Mammon. He is considered the demon of wealth and greed. This is all because when he was an angel in heaven, he was depicted as forever looking down at heaven's golden pavement rather than God himself. His lust for gold and other riches is what caused his downfall. In the rebellion, he didn't care about either side because he only cared about the wealth of God and how he could get it himself. He appeared as a wolf-like creature with golden material scattered all around his body. Okay, Mammon, jeez, you're tripped out. At number 2 spot, we have Abezitwo. This demon is a one-winged fallen angel who followed Beelzebub from his fall from heaven. After his treason was revealed to all other angels, they left him with only one red wing. But once he got banished, he didn't stop his terror. He was said to visit ancient Egypt and influence the pharaoh to do many things, such as chasing the fleeing Israelite slaves. Except this is where he met his demise. You remember that parting of the Red Sea with Moses? Yes, he was crushed by its collapse and he ended up imprisoned by the pillar of water. Until King Solomon freed him and instead used him to hold up his temple in the air until its full completion. Taking our number 1 spot on our list, we have Adramelech. I like to call this one the peacock demon because just look at it. Peacocks are pretty fashionable creatures, which kind of makes sense why Adramelech was Satan's wardrobe and his personal supervisor. This fallen angel's appearance has a human torso, a mule head with peacock feathers on his back. He got banished from heaven from Archangel Raphael and ever since only serves Satan. He was a pagan god, so many would sacrifice their own children in a fire for him. So it's pretty much dark stuff.
Starting off at number 10, Alistair. Alistair is a high-ranking archdemon and the chief executioner to the monarch of hell. One of his nicknames is evil genius of the household, meaning that Alistair is the demon that conducts the most heinous, depraved, and unbearable cruel tortures in the pits of hell. Alistair is linked to Nemesis and the destroying angel and is now known as the executioner. Alistair's origins are mostly unknown, though it is implied that he was once a destroyer angel that was cast into the pit for his heinous deeds. Alistair would see torture as an art and a privilege, and that sinners should experience pain in the same manner as their own sins are being committed. Coming in at number 9, Lilith. Lilith is a female demonic figure of Jewish folklore. Her name and personality are thought to be derived from the class of Mesopotamian demons called Lilu, and the name is usually translated as night monster. A cult associated with Lilith survived among some Jewish people as late as the 7th century. The evil she threatened, especially against children and women in childbirth, was said to be counteracted by the wearing of an amulet bearing the names of certain angels. In rabbinic literature, Lilith is variously depicted as the mother of Adam's demonic offspring, following his separation from Eve, or as his first wife, whereas Eve was created from Adam's rib. Some accounts hold that Lilith was the woman implied in Genesis and was made from the same soil as Adam, basically refusing to be obedient to her husband. Lilith left Adam and the perfection of the Garden of Eden. 3 angels tried to force her to return, but she wouldn't. According to some mythologies, her demonic offspring were sired by an archangel named Samuel, and were not Adam's children. Lilith basically takes children at night, hence the name Night Monster. Now at number 8, Demogorgon. Yes, like in Stranger Things, but it doesn't look the same. A Demogorgon is a demon associated with the underworld, although often ascribed to Greek mythology. The demon stands at a full 18 feet in height, 2 baboon heads with blue and red faces with green scaly skin. Demogorgon preferred to avoid direct conflict, instead using magic to help his servants. Demogorgon could hypnotize with a gaze or drive creatures around him to terror and insanity just at the sight of him. His whip-like tail had the ability to drain the life energy out of a living thing. Here at number 7, Leviathan. You know, like the ride at Canada's Wonderland? No? No one? Yeah, no one cares about Canada. I'll move on. Leviathan is the beast of darkness and chaos and a king of hell referred to in the Bible. He makes a major appearance in the book of Job as one of God's first and mightiest earthly creatures that rules the seas in contrast to Behemoth, Canada's Wonderland ride, who rules the earth, and Ziz, who rules the skies. Leviathan is one of the 7 princes of hell and its gatekeeper. Leviathan, as the gatekeeper, is known as the Hellmouth, where the mighty demon's mouth is said to represent the gates of hell itself. He is also the representation of the sin envy. The entrance of hell is envisioned as Leviathan's mouth due to the fact that when a whale is hungry, he opens his mouth and a sweet smell comes out. The fish are tricked by the smell and then they enter his mouth. Suddenly, the whale's jaw closes. Leviathan and the gates of hell are linked to one another. As such, it is said that the demon's very mouth, known as Hellmouth, can lead to the depths of the abyss as well. Taking number 6, Lucifer. Lucifer, light bearer in Latin, or in classic mythology, the morning star. Like the planet Venus at dawn. Seen as a male holding a torch, Lucifer had almost no legend, but in poetry he was often herald of the dawn. In Christian times, Lucifer came to be regarded as the name of Satan before his fall. It was thus used by John Milton, who was around from 1608 to 1674 in Paradise Lost. And the idea underlies the phrase, as proud as Lucifer. I fell from grace trying to prove a point. I was banished for eternity in the lowest pits of the abyss, for trying to show my brethren and my beloved Father on how flawed and murderous you humans are. And in the end, what do? They shun me. They spit on me and exile me, while you freely pollute and slaughter the planet he put you on. You don't deserve to live. Many Christians actually believe the word devil was once a beautiful angel named Lucifer. Moving on to number 5, Bloody Mary. According to legend, Bloody Mary is the ghost of an unhappy woman who either took her own life because her baby was stolen or because she was accused of hurting her children. Depending on the variation used, this turned her spirit mad with grief or anger. She would haunt the world with the use of mirrors, kinda like Candyman. Known in life as Maryworth, it was traditionally said that Bloody Mary will appear if a brave, or stupid, soul chants her name 3 or more times next to the mirror in complete darkness at midnight. According to the variations of the legend, one is also said to be able to make the ghost appear by saying, "Bloody Mary, I'm looking for your baby," or "I believe in Maryworth." Of course, anyone stupid enough to provoke Bloody Mary is said to pay the price. Unlike many ghosts who usually just scare humans, Bloody Mary is said to be capable of physical harm or will end the life of her victims using disfigurement. Number 4, Akamana. Akamana is the third of 9 and the demon of wicked mind, making people think that he is the third demon born out of the 9 who are the sons of Satan, born out of the darkness to corrupt all those he possesses. However, he cannot survive in the normal world due to the life force of whoever he is possessing being too thin. Akamana is described at times as being a true son of the devil, due to being regarded as the most violent demon to ever be born and roam the depths of hell. Cruel and controlling, obsessed with power and destruction. Akamana is a hateful but self-loving being who wishes only harm upon those other than him. Coming in at number 3, Zozo. The Zozo demon is a mysterious trickster entity known for stalking people through Ouija boards. Those who claim they've made contact with Zozo say he often shows himself by guiding the planchette in a figure 8 formation before frantically zooming back and forth between the Z and O. His interactions start out friendly but grow malicious. He's known for cursing at and threatening the people that try to make contact. Some believe that saying his name out loud can also summon Zozo from the depths of hell. Zozo believers claim the demon has ancient origins from Africa. Taking spot number 2, Dybbuk. In Jewish folklore, a Dybbuk is a spirit of a dead person that attaches itself to a person on earth. The word Dybbuk is derived from a Hebrew term meaning attachment. According to tradition, a soul that has not been able to fulfill its function in its lifetime is sometimes given another opportunity to do so in the form of a Dybbuk. Dybbuk seek out people who face similar challenges or circumstances to themselves and attach themselves to their bodies. Dybbuks are said to have escaped from Gehenna, the Jewish purgatory, or even have been turned away from Gehenna for transgressions too serious for the soul to be allowed entrance, like taking your own life. An evil Dybbuk often leaves only after being satisfied or exorcised. Number 1, Slenderman. Slenderman was first mentioned in Something Awful forums, create paranormal images. He generally appears in modern times as a tall humanoid creature in a black or gray suit, with a red or black tie and a white shirt. His face is totally white with no facial features at all. He has no hair and long fingers, and is more bonier than a typical human. Slenderman has been depicted in imagery and literature between 6 and 15 feet tall. Because of his inexact nature and differences between accounts, no one has determined what exactly the Slenderman is. Currently, there are 2 leading stories as to what the Slenderman could be: the Tupelo effect and the quantum theory. He behaves in what might be seen as a passive-aggressive manner. often stalking targets for years at a time before even attacking. It's understood that he tends to torture his targets mentally over long periods of time, using fear and paranoia driving them to insanity. No one has ever explained the reasoning behind his tactics or the way he chooses his victims, but he is rarely, if ever, portrayed in a good way. Starting off this countdown at number 10, Demon Terrorizing Cats. This happened December 18th, 2019, and the footage was filmed while a child and their mother were on vacation and left the cats at home. They had a house sitter who would come to the house every other morning to look after them. After they were on vacation for 5 days, they came back and noticed that the cats had been acting strange. So they decided to check the security footage, and this is what they found. The camera then turned away and stayed there until they returned home. Right when they came home, the cats darted towards the front door trying to get out. Did you guys also notice the shadow at the front door? Let's run the clip again, but zoomed in. Yeah, you can very clearly see that shadow, and the camera detects faces. Like on the cats, it shows a little green square, while on the shadow, it shows a green square. Now into number 9, School Ghost. This footage was recorded at Deer Park Irish Christian Boarding School in the middle of the night in 2017. The school had numerous reports of ghosts in the school or things being moved without anyone touching them. Look at the video and tell me what you think. Maybe this video is a prank or something, I'm not sure, but with multiple reports of strange, inexplainable things happening around the school, it's hard not to believe. And with that poster flying off the wall when no one was around, it seems like that ghost or demon is quite angry. Here at number 8, Bedroom Poltergeist. This video is recorded from a woman's bedroom security camera, and in the video it appears that her bedroom door opens and then her bedsheet is being pulled off her while she's sleeping. You can even see how freaked out she gets when she turns on the light, only for the light to be turned off again. And when it first happened, she tried to turn on the light and it wasn't turning on. It looks like she starts to panic, looking in her bed, probably trying to find her phone to use it as a flashlight. This straight up looks like stuff I see in the Paranormal Activity movies, and I just hate it. Taking spot number 7, Bedsheet Demon. This video is recorded from a home security camera, and the video shows an older lady that appears to be making dinner when all of a sudden things start getting thrown around. Now the last part with the bedsheet, I don't know how real it is, maybe it's photoshopped, but she looks too scared after she pulls off the bedsheet for it just to be photoshopped. But I don't know, what do you guys think? Hoax or real? Now at number 6, one-way ghost. The one-way ghost reportedly haunts the Space Mountain attraction at Disneyland. The spirit is described as being a large man with red hair and a red face. Many have reported seeing him on the ride and then disappearing by the end, hence the name one-way ghost. It's said that he died on the ride due to an accident that happened in the 1970s, and his soul has never left the place. He is said to ride the seats between those who choose to go alone, just like in the video. Now, why would this ghost still hang around? Does this ghost have intent to hurt people? Halfway at number 5, poltergeist mother. This video was taken from a baby monitor in the home of a young couple with their toddler. One night, the family got a notification that there was motion detected. They got on the app only to see this. The family said that this happened more than once. The baby is never harmed or anything, but it's said that when the parents are around, the ghost seems mad. Some have said that it's probably the mother of a child, and the mother passed away, so now the mother tries to care for their child as a replacement. Here at number 4, hotel demon. This footage was recorded by hotel security on September 14th, 2003. So there were reports of screams coming from a hotel room, and so a security guard went to go investigate. Once he did, you can see a large spirit walk out of the room after the security guard goes in to investigate. Before he even enters the room, you can hear the screams. They are so loud and insane.
There's no one checked into that room. There should be nobody in there. Wait 1 second, John. Amy, are you there? Yeah, John says he hears the screaming coming from that room. And I hear it too. But we're sure that no one's checked into that room, correct? John, just wait. We're gonna get a hold of the police, so I would wait for the police, John. Amy, John's gonna enter the room real quick just to check, make sure, see what's going on. Wait 1. John, are you there? Okay, Amy, John wants you to call the police right now if you don't mind. He says no one's in there, but that all of the furniture's been turned upside down hold on. He says the carpet's been ripped up and that the shower is on, but nobody's in there.
Did you hear him say that at the very end? All of the furniture has been turned upside down? I'm not sure about you guys, but a friendly ghost wouldn't scream and turn furniture upside down. Taking number 3, curtain demon. Now this one isn't taken off security camera, but I still think it's very scary, so I thought I'd add it in anyway.
So for today's drink,
the door was open, so maybe it was the wind, but it legit looks like a hand crawling from behind the curtain. And when she runs up, there's nothing there. And then she shuts the door. It seems like whatever thing did that was trying to scare the girl. Maybe it was a demon trying to threaten her. Moving on to number 2, poltergeist in the window. This video was from a man's security camera in his bedroom. In the video, you can very clearly see something in the window. Now I know what you're thinking, oh, that looks like a real person. Well, before the curtain was closed, and it slowly started to open as that thing came up to the window. Multiple things also fall off the shelf while he's sleeping, and his bedsheet gets pulled off. Like, I don't know if a real person could do all that from behind the window, but it's just absolutely terrifying to watch. And now coming in at number 1, hallway demon. This video was recorded in an apartment building while a man was walking down the hall to his unit late at night. The man is seen walking normally until you can see a very dark, shadowy figure walk next to him from the opposite side, till they meet. And then the man gets knocked over and starts being pulled by the dark shadow, and then it just disappears. Maybe this one is real, maybe it's not, but the guy looks like he's running for his life. And it's said that the darker the shadow, the more evil it is. Kicking it off at number 10 is the Wendigo. A Wendigo is said to be a very rare demon. They are described as strong monsters that have a powerful desire to eat and kill their victims, humans. The legend states that a Wendigo can possess you and turn you into one itself if the person is greedy or weak or wandering the woods alone at night.
There are multiple myths talking about what Wendigos look like, but the majority of them describe them to look like an animal, but very tall with a skull as a head, long legs, and their whole body covered in hair and drenched in blood. They are said to be very fast with strength like no other. Super hearing, amazing sense of smell, and is said to walk on water, just like Jesus. Now at number 9, we have the Ouija board demon. Zozo is a demon who chooses to only come through a Ouija board, giving him the name the Ouija board demon. This is a demon that was directly banished from God himself, so you best know there's a good reason for it. If you decide it's a good idea to play with the Ouija board, this is the demon you may encounter. Just to be sure, he will reveal himself by doing a figure 8 formation on the board and zooming back and forth between the letters Z and O. He's friendly at first, but in reality, that's the type of deception Zozo does. He likes to hide and pretend to be other people, mimicking the voices of our loved ones, and sometimes would take the form of their bodies in the shadows. As the game continues, Zozo begins to become more sinister. He is known for breaking objects, installing fear into others, just to have fun.
Here at number 8, we have sirens. Originally, not much was known about the sirens, because anyone drawn to their calls never came back alive. However, later Roman authors expanded on the idea of sirens. Some say sirens are mermaid-like creatures who lived on a remote island surrounded by rocky cliffs. Others say they were formerly handmaids of the goddess Persephone, who is the daughter of Zeus and Demeter. One day, Hades looked above and saw Persephone. He immediately fell in love with her and had asked Zeus for her hand in marriage. Zeus said yes, but Hades knew Demeter would never allow it, so Hades stole her. Demeter gave the handmaids the bodies of birds to assist in the search for her daughter. However, they couldn't find her, so they eventually gave up. The sirens would lure passing sailors by singing to them. Their singing would possess any sailor listening to the point that they would lose all willpower and crash their ship into rocky shores and cliffs, killing everyone aboard.
Coming in at number 7, we have Akamana. Zoroastrian mythology speaks of the Akamana. The name loosely translates into mind made of evil. So you guessed it, he is the demon of evil intention, and that's exactly what he does while inside of a human host. He gives the appearance of a ram-horned humanoid with more than 2 arms. His purpose is to taint the mind and destroy all morals. Whether it's displaying an indifference to daily responsibilities or blatantly ignoring large-scale moral obligations. Akamana plants seeds of evil into human minds, including lust, sloth, and deceit. Just to give more background, his dad is Satan. And Satan decided to have 9 sons for whatever reason, and all of them were born out of darkness with a single goal to corrupt everything they encountered. Akamana is a hateful but self-loving being who wishes only death upon those other than him and the human he controls.
Sliding into number 6, voodoo dolls. Now I'm sure we all know what voodoo dolls are, but are they just legend or are they real? Voodoo dolls are said to have originated from Europe. More specifically, the oldest known voodoo doll is said to be from Britain, as far back as the Middle Ages. In the Middle Ages, it was quite common for magic practitioners, known as cunning folk, to make a doll that looks like a witch and stick it with pins in order to break her spells and hurt her. The legend of voodoo dolls are that if someone has a doll with your energy or essence, for example, a piece of your hair or fingernail or some of your blood, that they can call upon ancient spirits to possess that doll and use witchcraft to link your body to the doll so that whatever happens to the doll happens to you.
Halfway there at number 5, we have the yin-yang theory. Unless you've been living under a rock, you have definitely seen this symbol. The yin-yang theory has penetrated into various traditional Chinese cultural things, including the calendar, astronomy, meteorology, Chinese medicine, martial arts, and the list goes on and on. The yin-yang theory applies to spirit possession. In general, one is considered to be weak when the yin and the yang in the body are in balance, especially when the yin is on the dominant side.
The spirits of the yin side will then take control of these individuals, causing them to associate with negativity and death. These imbalances also determine how weak your soul is. For example, if you had a weak imbalance, this would allow other ghosts and spirits to freely enter your body. To prevent this imbalance, a person must surround themselves with positive energies such as healthy eating, positive relationships, and exercising. Now at number 4 is skinwalkers. Now from what I read, I'm not even supposed to be talking about this because it's bad luck to even talk about it. But I'm doing it for you guys, okay? A skinwalker is basically a witch. Not an exact translation, but very similar. Legend says that skinwalkers committed unspeakable acts in order to gain the power to change their shape into an animal in order to harm. They mimic sounds that might draw someone's attention, like the voice of a loved one or a stranger that might be in trouble, so that they can lure defenseless victims to their death. It's often personal, and it's very much like you having a hex put on you. A hex is kind of like a spell or a curse to control you. Take a look at this video I found on TikTok and be sure to listen very closely. And there's lots of theories that also say that animals can sense and see the supernatural better than anyone can. That horse sprinting in the other direction sells that theory for me.
Taking our number 3 spot, we have the jinn. Jinns are entities from Arabic mythology. While jinn are mentioned in the Quran and are thus part of Islam, these spirits are not worshipped in the faith. They are thought to transcend the boundaries of the physical world and are said to be made of smokeless fire. Jinns are also believed to be capable of human possession. They possess the bodily needs of a human being, and to make things worse, jinn actually enjoy punishing humans and are said to be responsible for many diseases and all kinds of accidents.
Finally, here at number 2 is real-life Annabelle doll. Has anyone seen the horror movie Annabelle? Alright, well, fun fact, that movie is actually based on a true story. Now for the sake of the video, I'm going to be talking about all the real stuff that happened, not about the stuff in the movie, because not all of it is true. The real-life Annabelle doll was purchased from a store in 1970 and given by a mother to her daughter, Donna, who was a student in nursing school as a birthday present for her 28th birthday. Donna shared a small apartment with her roommate Angie, who was also a nursing student, and Angie's fiance, Lou. Angie would often come home to find that the doll had been moved. At first it was subtle, like they would find that the doll had shifted positions from where they last left it, but it started to progress. The doll would show up in Donna's room, sitting in a chair with its arms and legs crossed, standing up on its own, and even kneeling on a chair, and when they tried to put the doll back to that same position, it would just fall. Donna said that she would come home to find messages written in childlike writing on parchment paper. The messages would say things like, "Help us." Donna had spoken to a medium after noticing that drops of blood had randomly appeared on the doll, and the medium had said that a 7-year-old girl named Annabelle, who used to play in the fields of where their building now stands, was possessing the doll, and that her lifeless body was discovered in those same fields. Donna and Angie felt bad, so they allowed the spirit that they thought was Annabelle to stay with them and possess the doll. It's said that God does not allow child spirits to possess dolls. It was, in fact, a demon inside the doll that was impersonating a child's spirit. Lou didn't like the doll very much and warned Donna that it was evil. And one night when Lou was asleep, he woke up and realized that he was unable to move. He saw the doll at his feet and watched as it slowly glided up his leg and over his chest, and the doll had started to strangle him until he blacked out.
Finishing it up at our number 1 spot, we have the Jewish Dybbuk. Many of you have probably seen an example of a Dybbuk in popular horror movies such as The Possession or The Unborn. However, early tales of its existence date back to the word of mouth, specifically 17th century tales of Polish and German Jews. While many malevolent spirits remain invisible or take on the form of some hideous creature, the Dybbuk looks very much like a human. It often resembles a person familiar to the community it invades.
The first ever interpretation of a Dybbuk is a malevolent spirit of a dead person who reaches out to possess living people who are ill and sick. They bind onto the human soul, influencing their actions and behaviors. When a Dybbuk enters your body, it means you have done continuous bad deeds, which opens the door to your soul.
At number 10 spot, we have Trapped in the House. In October 2012, YouTuber Michael D. McGee posted a video on YouTube that supposedly captured a demon that has been haunting his house for years. In the description, he claims that he has been haunted since late 2010, and ever since, his paranormal experiences have increased and gotten even worse. This is when he finally decided to capture a video of what was happening to him. At first, he heard the sound of movement on his stairs, but when he went to go check, no one was home. Then he heard something again, and this is when he took this video. The sound of the closed footsteps along with the door closing right next to him is bound to keep anyone up at night. Number 9, the sound of a demon. In March 2012, a Russian YouTuber posted footage of some sound he heard from the forest at night. The video was shot next to an abandoned and destroyed building, and the men in the video believed it was someone screaming from a megaphone. However, upon closer inspection, they noticed that it was from a single creature that was making that sound. Many people believed it was the sound of a rake in the video, which is kind of like a vampire-like humanoid that feeds on human meat and blood. However, paranormal investigators believe these were the screams of the devil. They believe these screams are the same sounds they make when they are suffering in hell, and when they come up to our world, they can't help but shriek and scream like this video. Number 8, a real haunted house. In September 2010, YouTuber Chris Honkotsky posted a video that captured footage inside of his father's home in Southern California. He mentions that when he was growing up in that home, he experienced a large number of paranormal events, but he was always reassured nothing was wrong and that's all in his imagination. He also noted that one time at the house, he attempted to try a Ouija board. He claimed it worked, but he forgot to say goodbye. And for those who don't know, that's the most important step. Despite incorrectly playing the game, he hasn't had any supernatural encounters until he saw this recording. The man concluded that it must have been a demon that he released when he played the Ouija board. The object in the back can be seen moving, and no, this isn't by anything human or a string. It was a 30-pound statue of a giraffe, and no one was awake at the time. And to make things worse, this all started happening at 3 a.m. Number 7, Annalise Michael. Surprise, surprise, exorcism is on this list as well. Except this is specifically the true story of Annalise Michael, who is also the inspiration for the movie The Exorcism of Emily Rose. Annalise was a normal girl growing up, but by the time she hit the age of 16, her whole life changed. She began to see the face of the devil everywhere she went, and shortly after, many people, including herself, believed she was possessed by a real demon. A total of 67 exorcisms were done, and they sounded a little something like this.
Kapiert? Ist da sonst noch etwas zu sagen? Weil der Teufel größere Macht.
Unfortunately, they did nothing for this poor girl, and she ended up passing away from malnourishment and dehydration. Were these the sounds of a demon, or were these the sounds of a troubled girl looking for proper help? You guys be the judge. Number 6, Demon in the Demon. In the hump for our list, we have Demon in an Abandoned Building. This video was posted on Reddit by a now deleted user with the caption, Dark Demon in Abandoned Building. I mean, first of all, do we really expect anything good coming from an abandoned building? Didn't think so. This brave guy decided to record his adventure and stumbled upon a supposed demon in the process. What even was that? Many people in the comments said it was a demon because the abandoned building has been used for many satanic rituals and other sacrifices. Near the end of the video, we stumbled upon an animal jaw, which was most likely used for a form of ritual as well, confirming this theory. Number 4, Chased. One man claimed to have visions of a demon and would also hear them while he slept. Because of this, he would suffer from insomnia and constant anxiety. One night, his hallucinations and thoughts began to get really bad to the point when he ended up running away from his own home, thinking he was haunted by multiple ghosts. When he ran outside, he decided to record a quick video, and as he began to hear slight noises around him, this is what he saw. Number 3, Demon Cat. In September 2020, YouTuber Happy Fox Productions posted some home footage of when they're away on vacation. They had a few cats, but they decided to leave them home as they were only gone for a few days. But still, they took their precautions and hired a house sitter to check on them. When they arrived back home, they noticed their cat's behavior was completely off and not normal, so they decided to check the security footage to see if anything happened. As you can see, there's a clear shadow of a person standing near the door, but also the cat is seen standing up, which was pretty odd according to the owner. They then decided to see if there was something there, so they did some editing. Number 2, Household Demon. One family began to report that they were being terrorized by a demon after they conducted a seance to contact a deceased relative. At first, they believed that they had contacted their relative, but minutes after, the voice they heard started to alter and change. Soon, the house began to show many signs of supernatural, and in 2007, this video was posted to prove their experiences. The clip was recorded from the hours 11 p.m. to 5 a.m. and originally the cupboard was closed. After this, the family immediately put their house for sale, so we gotta feel bad for the new homeowners. Number 1, Demonic Car. This footage was captured during a police chase around the year 2000 by Garden City Police. A few police cars were chasing a car when all of a sudden the car makes a turn to escape the cops, and when the cops turn, it can be seen on the dash cam of the police car that the vehicle seemingly went through a fence.
The fence at the end means no way out, or does it? Even watching it again, cops are unable to make sense of it. All they see is an intact fence and nothing more than the vanishing taillights of what the Garden City PD has come to call the ghost car.
The police department still to this day can't explain what happened, and it has been known as the Garden City Ghost Car, and others believed it was actually possessed by the devil himself.